Hello, good morning. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Thank you very much for joining us wherever you are. Of course, this is the Wednesday edition. To our viewers from around the world, welcome to this program. We are broadcasting from the Gambia, West Africa. We are on QCell Avenue, Serekunda. So if you're just tuning in, thank you very much for following this program always, and to the people that normally send their messages that they follow this program, the likes of Ibrahim Jawara in the United States of America. Ibrahim, thank you. Brother Banki in Spain, Madrid, they follow this program, and not forgetting Bahore in Gabon. Thank you. And Mr. Momodou Mbodj is the co-host of this program. Good morning, Mr. Momodou Mbodj. How is your Tobaski preparation?
Absolutely spot on. We have a week to go, haven't we?
Yeah, a week to go.
Yes. Have you bought your ram?
Not actually.
Not yet.
I'll buy it probably 2 days to Tobaski.
Absolutely, because a lot of people, they really do not like the fact that if you buy it, for instance, a week before, you have to provide feeding space and
those
all
are
that.
things. Sometimes you know you have you have people eyeing your ram, so I have to be very careful of the jolas and the sereres. They'll be eyeing your ram.
Maybe jolas. I'm not sure about the sereres. don't go there. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So how have you
spot
been?
on. Looking forward to it.
Yes.
Always, positive energy.
I like the mood when Tobaski is fast approaching.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so we are going to change the format of the program. As you know, we'll deal with the Africa. If we ask our guests to help us interpret the African code, would be very interesting.
No, but we wouldn't ask them that. They're here to talk about the specific
Yeah, that
thing.
would have been
Let's
lovely.
stick to that.
Okay, all right, no problem. Thank you. As Tobaski approaches, the many Gambians travel across the country, to spend Tobaski with their families. But the main thing and the main concern is transportation. So, especially the route of Banjul Bara, ferrying people across the other side, sometimes can be very challenging. So, joining us on the program, we have Mr. Babukar Suso, Public Relations Officer, Gambia Ferry Service, and Mr. Sirif Seidi, Acting Director of Operations. Gentlemen, welcome to QTV this morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Balde. Thank you, Mr. Mbodj. I am Babukar Suso, serving as the Public Relations Officer, Gambia Ferry Service. It is a pleasure to join you to share vital information and to strengthening our connection, with the general public.
Yes.
Thank you.
So it will be important for me to throw this question to you.
Yeah.
What preparations have been made so far ahead of Tobaski? So any of you can answer this question.
Thank you so much. Let me just dwell in that bit, and before I, shift to the Acting Director of Operation. As part of our operations, we have a very, very, solid preparations to ensure the safety and traveling of our customers. As we all know, during the festive periods, we have a lot of inflows of passengers, with peoples with different characters. You need to deal with all those people also differently. Absolutely. And the approaches also. So those measures are all in place as I speak to you. It is very unfortunate we have no representative from the safety department, but we have a department that is very, very important, that is safety.
Okay.
Because situations of that nature, what is more important, our priority is to make sure that everybody is safe, everybody is safe and cross to their various destinations.
Yes, interesting. So, Acting Director of Operations, what are the strategies in place to make sure we ferry these people to the other side, so that there'll be no chaos? Because it seems to be a tradition where people come in the last minute, and everybody wants to cross.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Balde, for that question. We actually have strategized our operations. What we have presently, we have 2 ferries that are plying. That is the Kanilai ferry and the new ferry, which is Bara ferry. Currently, Kunta Kinte ferry is out of service, but all efforts are being put in place to ensure that in a couple of days' time, we'll also have the Kunta Kinte ferry in operation. So that will bring the total fleet to 3. So definitely, if we have 3 ferries plying the Banjul and Bara route, definitely that congestion that used to be a tradition would be a thing of the past. So that's the strategies we have in place. Already our mechanics are working tirelessly day in and day out. I can remember even 2 days ago, they even have to spend the night there just to ensure that they have Kunta Kinte ferry back to service. Yes.
During this period, what do you do differently from normal periods?
Yeah, what we do differently is we ensure that we engage the state security to ensure, like he said in the opening, safety is normally a priority. And normally, if you look at the volume of passengers that we normally encounter during these peak periods, it's normally too high. So what we normally do is we engage the state security to come and give support, complement the efforts of our own security personnel to ensure that there is proper crowd control. That is one thing that we normally do. And the other thing also is sometimes we give also priority to like the people who are crossing the animals, because most of the animals cannot stay under the sun for a quite long period of time. So what we normally do is when they come and they want to cross, we give them special priority. Either they are carrying them on board vehicles or whatsoever, we give them special priority. When they come, we just ferry them to the other side. And the other thing also, what we do differently is we have given a 50% discount to all those people who are carrying animals that are going to be used for Tobaski. With the exception of the other, of course, we know there are certain animals that we cannot use for Tobaski, but any animal that is going to be used for Tobaski, ranging from rams, cows, camel and so on. Yeah, we've given them 50% waive on the normal price. So those are some of the things that we are doing different. The reason being that, we had a stakeholder meeting with these animal those people who are selling animals and so on. And one of the reasons what they said they advance is that, the reason why the price of their stock is high is the cost that is involved. And one of these, of course, is the ferries crossing. So we say, okay, if that is the case, we will waive 50% for you. So that we also hope that that will also reflect on the price of the animals that they are selling. So those are some of the things that we are definitely doing differently.
Absolutely. You are the PR officer.
Exactly.
I wonder, what do the users, people who use your services, what do they think about your arrangement, as you just put it? Do you find out what people think about your arrangement?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, as the director, earlier lamented, before any, operations, we do have a meeting whereby we sit, brainstorm and come up with ideas to make sure that we have a smooth operations. And the key factors of that meetings is to communicate to the general public. As you said, we have a lot of people, always in a rush to cross, you understand? So for them, they don't, whatever you communicate to them, they will also come with their own ideas. You understand? And these are normal, noons in, Gambian context, you understand? But nonetheless, these are public institutions. We also keep, informing them, talking to them to make sure that they also understand. Because what we have most of the time, the difficulties is we have a small area, that is the waiting room. But many of these passengers also will not like to use that waiting room, you know. They would like to use their personal connections. You know, this is the Gambia for you. Everybody is connected. You know, I'll have my own people, my own friend will be calling me. They don't like to use the, you know, the waiting room. And you cannot even deny them. Even if you don't pick the calls, they will keep texting you, even calling your family members to, you know, to try and help them. So we encounter, you know, a lot of difficulties, but notwithstanding, as we said, we are prepared, you know, to, you know, do our best to make sure that we have a smooth operation.
Yeah, interesting. So how prepared are your staff? We all understand this is a peak period and, you know, the number of people will increase, you know, however. Let's take a look at human capacity. How prepared are your people?
Well, I will lament on that. We are definitely prepared because, as I said, we have a meeting. But normally when the festive period is approaching, we also send a memo. You understand? A memo is released to make sure that nobody is seated at their offices. Everybody has to come to the terminal to give us support to the terminal staffs.
Yeah. In addition to that, what we also do is, you know, our people, they normally work on shifts. You know, so but to enforce the capacity of those who are on duties on those particular days, we also ask those people who are on off duties to come and join in the activities, so that at least we have enough hands on the ground to be able to handle whatever situation may arise.
That's interesting. Long queues, I mean, it's important for us to know how to address it as well. What are we doing so that it can be faster?
Yeah, what we do also is we open up some other ticket selling points. In addition to what we have, we also open up some extra ticket selling points. Like now we have one at the front gate of the terminal, and then if you go inside, we have another one. And then we have another place also that we newly opened, which we call the Cinco. Now we also allow passengers to come there. In addition to that also, we have another small gate that we also open for the passengers, just to minimize the long queuing and the long waiting time for just to acquire tickets. Yeah, that's also we do.
Can we buy tickets digitally, electronically?
Oh, well, that will come in the very near future.
In the near future?
Very near
not
future.
Here. I mean, many years ago, we asked some of your team, they said it will come. And
no, for sure, this we can assure you it will definitely come in the near future.
Just some logistical problems, you know, but
we're working on it.
Yeah, we're definitely working on that to ensure that it comes in the not distant future.
Okay, sure. All right, Mr. Mboch.
Yes, for me, I'm curious, you know, the sort of recurrent issues, problems that you tend to face around this problem, around this period. What are some of the recurrent issues that you face around this period, if any?
Yeah, there is definitely, because, you know, it's sometimes difficult because we send a press release also to inform the public about the optimization of the Barra Ferry. You know, on that regard, we encourage our customers, you know, to prepare themselves earlier to do their crossing and avoid the rush hours. But it's difficult, as you said. Like when I send a release of such, I will also be there to see the, you know, perceptions of people. That is their comments. You understand? But people will come with, some will come with a very, very good suggestion. But mostly, instead of to understand what we are trying to do, they will be just, you know, coming up with vile words, you know, towards you, but that's it. As a servant of the people, you have to expect such.
Absolutely.
But we encouraging our passengers to help also, you know, prepare themselves earlier to cross to avoid the congestion.
Okay. You can come in.
Yeah,
Let me just add this, and then you can come in.
Sure.
That is from the angle of the people.
Yeah, that's the angle of the people.
Even from your angle, for instance, you've said you've got 2 ferries running.
Yeah.
Should for some reason, we all know how mechanics and all of these things, what can happen. Should one of them just break down, there's no third right now, then there's an issue. So from your angle, how many times have you faced stuff like that?
Let me
Well,
just
I think the operational director will dwell on that,
yeah, we face those problems once in a while. Yeah, but always there are also always contingency plans. If we face a situation like that, what we normally do is we extend our service to compensate for what is lost. Yeah, because we have a normal closing time, which is 11 o'clock from Bara end. So in a situation like that, we'll extend our service, and then there'll be no official closing time. We operate on need basis. When there are passengers, we make sure that we ferry them.
Yes.
That's the strategy.
Just before you come in, earlier on,
Yeah.
you talked about people who would come in and sort of want to be treated in a special way, privilege, and that sort of thing. Operations, you're going to have to come in. How do you balance between this privileged demands, because I don't know, and fairness? When you have people around seeing what's going on, you're providing a public service. How do you balance between the two?
Yeah, it's a difficult situation looking at the Gambian context, because everybody is related one way or the other. Yeah, that's a big problem, and we normally encounter a lot of bottlenecks because of the situations like that. But what we always do is we make sure that the other party also doesn't suffer. Yeah, we make sure that there is that kind of fairness as much as possible. Like even if you come to the vehicles, for example, if you have priorities, sometimes your hands are very tight because you have priorities from government institutions, also from the foreign service and stuff like that. So when you have such people, definitely due to some bilateral relations with some of the institutions, your hands are tied. So what you do normally is you make sure that, like for example, if it is vehicles, when you take from those special people, you also make sure that you take some also from the queue and ensure that there is that fairness to some extent in the treatments.
But you have to accommodate unfairness.
No, but this time we have a meeting on this, and it is very important you come up with that questions. But we've all agree unanimously that there should be no special treatment this time. And in fact, we are urging those officials at least to help us to buy their VIP tickets, because we have ordinary people who wants to cross, urgently. They buy their buy their VIP tickets. So we are urging to those officials also to help us. But this is just a, few days period, you understand? So let them help us also. Whoever wants to be treated differently, just go and buy your VIP ticket and cross.
So how much is the VIP ticket?
2,500.
2,500.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about the extension of the operations period. Are we going 24 hours?
Now, for now, we're not going for 24 hours. For this period, the festive period. But as I said earlier, it depends on the need. When there is need, definitely we can operate 24 hours. But when sometimes you go to the terminal, especially if the 3 ferries are operating, sometimes you virtually find no vehicle at all because they've all been ferried across to the other side. So our service definitely is going to be on need basis. When the demand is there, definitely we provide the service. But when the demand is not there, of course, we may decide to withdraw one of the ferries, and then we allow the other 2 to operate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about have you factored in terms of emergency? A breakdown or that sort. What other plans do we have?
In case of breakdowns,
yes,
we don't foresee all the 3 ferries to be to have a breakdown at the same time. So, like I said, earlier, if one has a breakdown, definitely we have to compensate, by providing extra, hours, beyond the normal closing hours. Yes.
Yeah.
We have that in place.
Okay, that's interesting. Mbokk yi di leen jaajëfal képp koo xam ne yaa ngi seetaan programme bi fii si QTV lu ñoo waxtaanee mooy wàllum jaala bi ñoo xam ne ñu ngi dëkkee ñoomi bi ak ñoo xam ne dañ dee jëfandikoo ferry bi pour cross loolu la ñoo waxtaanee ñi ñooy kilifa yu bàyyeekoo si Gambia Ferry Service ñu ngi waxtaan comme Tabaski bi lan mooy seen yan matuwaay lañ jël pour gis ne nit ñi jaala nañ si jaama ba pare ku nekk mun ngaa jaala nga dem enjoy sa Tabaski loolu nag lu am solo la bëggoon nañ rek si gàttal ngeen wax ñu seen taxawaay.
jërëjëf si laajte boobu noonu comme lu ñu doon wax si kàllaama nasaraan. ñu ngi ñëw jublu si it période bi. période boo xam ne ferry service moom liggéey bu ñu si dee def dee bëri bu baax a baax. waaye comme nuñ ko waxee rek pour avoid loolu noonu ñëpp ñu mun a jàlla smoothly. ñu ngi ñaan tamit customers yi that's the public. pour ñu teel a prepare seen boppa tamit. because loolu tam def dee nekk jafe-jafe bu baax. because da ngaa gis jigéen bu ñëw benn jigéen kese àndut ak kenn mu ñëw ak ñetti xale o ñeneenti xale si loxoom ak bagage yu dul jeex te fu ma laa wane si wéetin la bi foofu noonu def dee fees ba boo xam ne léegi mooy loolu. te ñu ne nekk safety foofu noonu they are always around there ñooñu suñ gisee ne dafa need pour ñu dimbale ñooñu génnee leen yóbbu leen ine comfort area boobu tam dañ si dee am difficult because soo ñëwee pour laal caabi bi sa ubbi da ngaa gis nit ñi dañ la dee ñëw puus ak doole. so lu ñoo ñaan nit ñi daal mooy nañ prepare suñ boppa alias sakantuma jigéen ñoo xam ne dañ ñoo bugg a dem ak seen joboot yi ñu ngi leen naa waxal sakantuma seen jëkkër yi ñu try because easy wut definitely because comme nu ma ko waxee si kàllaama angale bu ma joxee release boobu noonu da nga gis ku ñëw mu ne ma xanaa yow yaa ma dee fay salaire ma jox xaalis pour may teel a dem so da nga dee jànkul wantel yooyu but you have to understand but moom tam noonu la ko gisee waaye ba léegi loolu du tax ñun ñu run away from our responsibilities ba léegi we will keep communicating to them to make sure that we have a smooth operation.
loolu lu am solo la bëggoon nañ pour ñu am loolu tam si kàllaama Mandinka. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that in Mandinka.
She's a linguist.
Okay. Laftale Pulia Fonye, Gambia Ferry Service. Albe loring mintole pour kaje ko mole ta salola ye murunang kaira kono.
Abraka bage sabalde o kumata bake Gambia Ferry Service be mol beleje banko dingol wo animi manke banko dingol di no na service o abe mo bele so nga nyati li nyi salo min teng demand ka wara mol kam bake melo minalon ko min lafta tala ni min kana cause mol bitala salo la dol binalon ko binala salo la fana so baren tum nga min parendi rol min ke sa be tembo min to wolom nyinti ko nga ferry fula soto min yalon ko le buri kam banjul ni bara sabanyang fana mi yalon ko le kata kunta kinte kata kul fana be kerin mi sati nako fonse kunta kinde ferry fana soto no asitara service o kono ja ni ñu se kafu ñoma because momi hapu kate kata kana kasiya bage so jiko bi je ko kunta kinde ferry fana soto le atemela bage min ka kolya wolo Gambia no ko ngalo nyame ndoro mo be kala fila tala last minute mo be ka sile ya foko sa malo saloti wala sinindi no saloti mo be ka wuli ñolale so mo be la wo wulo ñola ak wole ka kole ya ko sambana mo ka teres lanna tambi si ya taminalo so wole atina nga ñi fere landi pour feri sabo be so sotono to mando nga jiko ni wo feri sabo sotota kole ya ko min kam mo sotono abe talala ana mambang because kole ya kay wote bannano fere bari ase tala bake to di minimum inshallah
be legi rek nañ continuer yéen doon wax affaire yi VIP tickets VIP tickets bi dañ bëggoon a xam ndax loolu pour VIP yi rek lañ ko amal ñoo xam ne government officials la o ñoo xam ne ñu ngi si place yu kawe yi ndax ordinary citizen bi tam mun naa jënd tickets yooyu.
jërëjëf si laajte boobu noonu laajte bu am solo la VIP ticket bi pour ñëpp la képp koo xam ne mun nga koo afford mun nga koo jënda waaye nag soo gisee moo ko si kàllaama nasaraan ne ñun ñu ngee ñaan ñoo xam ne ñooy officiel if the ordinary people can buy VIP ticket for 2005 ñu ngi leen a ñaan ñoom tamit although comme kii ni mu ko defee léegi suñu hand si def dee tight waaye ñu ngi leen a ñaan ñoom tamit suñu yaakamtee pour cross because ñoom tam léegi nga am ku toog ba last minute bu ko dem cross yi julli ji waaye ñu ngi leen a ñaan ñoom tamit ñu xam ne affaire situation bi nu mu dee mel la def dee tense te ñoom lañ yaakaar pour ñu protect ñu ngi leen a ñaan ñoom tam ñu ñëw jënd seen ticket VIP rek dem ba léegi dafa nduroon ne yaa ngi dooleel sa boppa because of Gambia Ferry Service is our own institution empowering them means you are empowering yourself so ñu ngi ñaan officials yooyu noonu as far as ordinary people say dañ dee ñëw jënd 2,500 ngir yaakamti ñoom tam nañ ñu jëndal 2,500 pour yaakamti cross.
Waaw.
because dama si bëgg a wax leen tamit boo xam ne wax nañ ko si meeting bi mooy route yu nit ñi dee use pour dugga ak seen moto yi si terminal bi yoon Liberation Avenue bi rek la ñoo jël. ñëwee si biir port bi di other side dañ ko bëgg a block. because soo ubbee ñaari yoon si yëpp congestion la dee indi pour nga contrôle trafic bi def dee métti so muy official wo muy whoever based on your status or ordinary citizens ñu ngi ñaan ñëpp pour ñu jaaree Liberation Avenue bi koo xam ne ñoo xam ne dinañ leen mun a ala mooy like for instance naka koo xam ne dafa feebar mu ngi ñëw ak ambulance yooyu moom xam nga doo ko ne xaaral yooyu moom always dañ leen dee factor jox leen priority loolu moom amul jënda fi lii amul jënda lee
fan mooy Liberation Avenue bi
mooy from the GRA di ñëw waaw
ok
bu gaaw a gaaw lifin am VIP ticket
waaw
yaa ngi ne ku yaakamti yow ñaari ferries rek la su fa nekku fa dañuy di benefit sa VIP ticket
waaw
non lo benefit bi mooy dafa am spot buñ dee create for them we agreed this time
waaye yëpp si terminal bi
waaw si biir terminal bi la boobu moo gën a jege si raam bi ñu ngi wax si luñ d'accord mooy su fekkee baara mooy dem dinañ jaay about 6 VIP mooy 6 vehicles mun nañoo nekk VIP spot ñooñu moom dañoo dugg a dem understand soo yaakamte
so priority
la exactly soo yaakamte nga fay boobu noonu automatically you will cross waaw
so VIP ticket bi moom lu mu àndal amul drinks amul snack amul dara
déedéet indi future loolu tam dina ñëw bon
waaw nañ ko si you should factor that
waaye benn tamit si sitting arrangement si tamit
waaw
si meeting kaa bi wax nañ tamit kuñ koo xam ne bëgg ngaa use suñ VIP
waaw
space bi si kaw also mu ngaa jënd ticket $300 nga dem foofu am AC soo fa duggee di nga kontaan
so priority ak comfort
waaw léegi pour ma ñëw foofu rek gaaw rek comme nii ñoo koyen tur boobu noonu VIP waaye actually premium ticket la premium ticket la actually so da ngaa gis nga loolu moo indi confusion bi ku ne am na ñoo xam ne suñ ñëwee sax ñu jënd ticket boobu dañ leen wax ne pour ñu dem egg si VIP bi si kaw because that is the designated area pour nga solely for the VIPs fine mun ngaa jënd ticket for VIP soo ko jëndee nañ lay osa ñu yóbbu la foofu nga dem toog foofu nga am that confort but da ngaa gis ne différence am na si price bi kon normal ticket bi $35 la VIP bi soo ko buggee yu si kaw fële you pay $300 waaw so waaye premium bi moom priority bu si nekk comme ni ko PRO bi waxee mooy soo ñëwee doo the next available fare yi
da ngaa dem ak moom
so that's the advantage
waaw
you don't have to doo dem si biti fële nga kii foofu lu bëri yow soo ñëwee rek da ngaa dugga su feeri ñëwee rek you are cross.
Thank you very much Mr. Baboucarr Suso and Sirif Saidi for coming.
Thank you.
And I wish you a very smooth operation.
Thank you.
We hope and pray everybody will go in peace and come back in peace.
Sure. We will invite your guys to come and do the coverage.
Yes, we will be there. We'll be doing some programs there.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, so viewers, we'll be right back after the break. Then the newspaper review with Mr. Adi Drame. We'll be back. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Thank you very much for joining us. It's always good to be here, especially when you are, sharing the platform with your seniors. I mean, your two bosses. They teach you things that you've never known before. The things that you know and the things that you've never known before combined together, that becomes a masterpiece. Mr. Adedrame is back on the newspaper review.
I'm back on the newspaper review, and I'm not sure what to make of that. You welcome your elders, I guess. It's a pleasure.
All right.
Always, yeah.
So on the Standard newspaper, man gets death sentence for killing his robbery victim.
Yes.
Well, considering the severeness of the incident, I mean, in any state, I mean, they would definitely go in for, the jury will go in for the death sentence.
If you had a jury.
if you have a jury.
We don't have a jury.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And in many countries now, they no longer have the death sentence. And in the Gambia, to all intents, even though it's still on our statute books, has not been applied. Nobody has been hanged for a long time now. So effectively, there's a moratorium. It's not been repealed. It's still there. So potentially, people can still be, as we saw with Yankuba, people can still be sentenced.
So we can say the death sentence is more or less is life sentence.
Effectively.
You will never leave prison alive.
Yes.
You will leave prison when you are dead or when you...
I saw an American trial recently where 4 men were convicted of shooting a rapper in Florida. And the recommendation from the jury was life sentence without the possibility of parole. So you can have that. I mean, the guys are all young, they're about 19, 20.
At some point, parole means forgiveness. They will forgive you, but they will put a person that will take a look at your character.
Your parole officer.
If you changed or not. We've seen people shooting their parole officers to death.
In America.
Yes, but with us, we have something similar. The prerogative of mercy,
yeah.
That's the president, isn't it?
That's
so
right.
that's the difference between death sentence and life.
Yeah.
When I kill you, that's it. But when I sentence you to life, well, you could have a president who could exercise the prerogative of mercy. And perhaps, there might be exceptions. I do not know. Maybe in certain capital offenses, they may not want to apply it, stuff like that. But
yes.
Isn't it? So
we've had like cases in the last 2 or 3 years, people who've served 50, 56 years in prison, only to be released because evidence showed that they were not guilty. And those were people who, had they been in another state in America, would have been killed. And you can't bring that person back to life when you find they're innocent.
That is, isn't that the most potent argument against the death penalty?
Yeah, indeed.
Human beings, any system, you can make
errors.
Can
make mistakes.
When you kill somebody, you cannot redress that situation. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So,
so in this case, the man committed
robbery,
and that's a crime of its own.
Yeah.
And killing the robbery victim
was the more serious
as
crime.
well, and probably to the manner in which the robbery victim was killed to would be considered by the courts.
Possibly.
So the weight of this matter might prompt them to give him the death sentence.
You suspect, because if it was robbery with violence leading to the victim's death, then yes, you suspect that it was something like that.
Manslaughter.
Well, there's manslaughter is slightly different.
That's something else. So let's be careful here. Murder,
it was murder. The charge was murder.
That's it,
The charge was murder.
So His Excellency President Adama Barrow urges Sidia Jatta to join him in national development. Well, Sidia Jatta, we all understand when it comes to Gambian politics, he is one of the most mature people that you can count on politically, him and Halifa Sallah. So Sidia Jatta joining President Adama Barrow for national development, I think that's a laudable initiative, only if he accepts that, because people independent for socialism, we all understand how they think. You understand? So Halifa Sallah was, according to what we've, heard, he was given the position, a certain position, and he turned it down. So it's not going to be an easy task like that.
It's not. Anybody who campaigns in a country, the Gambia or anywhere else, they always say, I want to win because I want my country to be better. I'm into politics because I want to improve things for the citizens of this country. And so it's not unusual for a president to reach out to people who, if their agendas merge, they might not agree on everything. They might agree on, for example, improvements to the education system, both the infrastructure and the quality of teaching at the universities. For example, Sidi Adiata is very much kind of into education and stuff. So he might say, well, on certain things we can agree and I might support you, but on other things we're quite divergent in our views, and so but we wait and see.
That's it. My point here, you said we all know what they stand for, socialism. I'm not sure whether we do. I'm not sure whether they're going to go back to sort of public ownership of land. There'll be no private ownership of land. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure about that. But more relevantly, perhaps, join me in national development.
Yeah.
If I'm in opposition and I'm playing my role well as an opposition in a democracy, I have joined you in national development. Joining doesn't mean the same party, the same platform. It doesn't mean that at all. So I really do not know what, if the president said that, because with these headlines sometimes you can never tell. If the president said that, I have no idea what you're talking about. Are you co-opting him to join your party? Which is a slightly different thing. But national development,
for me,
they have been in national development ever since.
For me, I just want us to put this thing straight. I want to understand, to urge, it's not to beg, it's not to appeal.
No. Look. You don't know what the original writer, the journalist who wrote it, might have had another word. He might have had beg. The editor might have said urge. We don't know what the words are unless we hear them, you know. You know, when we hear this sort of thing in African politics, it usually means if you agree, I'll give you a post or a position of some sort. So effectively, we're on the same side. We're not on. You know, that's what it tends to mean in when you say join me in.
Okay.
In
so let us
national.
shift to the other headline. One of the most feared junglers during former President Yahya Jammeh's time, Sana Manjang. Now, prosecution witness to testify in camera in Sana Manjang case.
Which is one of these funny things.
That's
the Latin
in camera
means in a room, literally.
First. Yes.
Privately.
Exactly. It doesn't mean on camera.
You think I don't know?
We didn't say that.
No, I did idiomatic expressions.
Didn't say that.
Idiomatic expressions, my friend.
Merely said that. Let's explain it.
Yeah, let's
explain. Didn't say anything about.
I'm trying
to pull your legs here.
For anyone who might.
Legs.
So anybody who might be reading this thing in camera, in case they don't know, it means camera means room, literally, from which you get other words like English words like chamber and so on. It's privately, not in public. So there might be this person is under protected status, or they want to protect the person's identity, whatever.
The only thing I'm worried about, I mean, this case will keep dragging and dragging for many, many, many years. And, you know, most of these victims, they want to see justice prevail.
Do they want justice? Do they want revenge? Because you can have revenge quickly, but justice might take a while. It has to take its time. You can't rush it just because, you know.
How about if I'm not alive to witness justice?
It's fine, but, you know, that can happen. That can happen if the case drags on for 3. Some of the victims who survived have since died. And others might before it's, because he might be sentenced, he might appeal. So it could drag on, you're right. But as long as justice is served in the end, that is what matters, not to speed it up for the sake of, some of the victims might not be around. You can't do that. That's not justice. That's just, not sure what you'd call it.
And my point is, why should I fear that it will drag on? Sana Manjang, maybe we had something similar with Yankuba Toure, with him as well, flying, whatever. But the case went sort of bad, fairly quickly.
Yeah,
so I do not know based on what.
Yeah,
why do you fear what tangible thing
Well,
can you point to and say, oh, this is why I
Well,
fear that
the
it will
way-
be trouble?
You say
The
The way
case
I
is
am
going on.
seeing
The
this
case is
case,
going on.
It's a complex case, and it involves a lot of witnesses.
But you still want it to be done speedily.
We want it to be done speedily.
You've just said it's complex and a lot of
That's-
witnesses.
that's it. But-
so
but-
that tells you it can't be done speedily.
But to me as well, I will further push you. How do you know the complexity of it? I'm not. You're not a lawyer.
Hey, perhaps he
how
is.
do you know the complexity of it? Maybe are you imagining complexity?
I'll tell you. The reason that I said this case is a bit complex, this is the case of a jungler who was accused of killing people, shooting other people at point blank range. You understand? In fact, beheading other people. You understand?
So what's the complexity?
So this is a very
Yeah.
complex case.
It seems so straightforward.
What
the way
you
you
just
put
said,
it,
It's a
what you
complex
it's
just
so
said,
straightforward.
you've taken away the complexity.
He's taking
No, of
away the
course.
complexity.
The complexity might be in
When
terms of
when there is killing,
yes.
when there is killing,
Yeah.
it makes it complex
Well,
already.
only if there are no other witnesses. But if there are people who were witness to the killing, rather than depending on hearsay, then it becomes less complex because the person can say, on such and such a date, I was there, I saw what happened, and so on. The complexity is
That's
not in that.
The
Yes.
complexity doesn't really depend on the act,
No.
but the circumstances around the act.
But do you know?
That is really where
do you know all
complexity
these
is.
witnesses that will come and also give their side of the story? At some point, the court will take its time, at least, to verify, you know, the authenticity of their.
Well,
their
that's why you have cross-examination.
yeah.
That's it.
So it will
The,
take
the
time.
witness doesn't
That's
just come.
it.
That's what we're saying.
Be
Let it
careful.
take its
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You're saying, oh, it's drag on. If you have 25, 22 witnesses,
Okay.
you have to be
Yeah.
you have to be examined and cross-examined. So,
So what I
be
mean
it.
is-
Every piece of evidence,
Yes.
all the
So
testimonies, they're all
That's the
tested.
reason why it will take time. What I mean is, okay, fine. I wish this case will have its final judgment quickly.
sometime soon. We hope, but whatever we hope for is that there should be justice at the end. Because, as I say, if there is a guilty verdict, there is a great likelihood that it will be appealed, and that will take it further if the appeal is granted. So it could, you're right, it could drag on, as you put it.
in that way. I think the interesting thing would be what would be revealed in the testimonies.
Yeah, quite.
For me, I'm more concerned about that
Yeah.
than the process itself.
Yes.
Let the process be. I'm interested in the content.
Yeah, yeah.
What would be revealed, what can be used, as it were, if we want to go to Yahya Jammeh himself.
Well, this is it,
Given the
because-
relationship, given what he was, from the rumors anyway, you
Yeah.
know, from what I've heard. So it will be interesting what can be established from this case and can be used against.
Yeah, because the difference between this and what we heard at the TRRC is that witnesses weren't really cross-examined. They were kind of, responses were teased out of them. Yeah, and for a case of this nature, you bring the charges, you have to prove beyond all reasonable
Reasonable
doubt.
doubt, yes.
Otherwise the person walks. And there's another case which has been dragging on for quite a while, the GPA fraud case, and that's mentioned. And they were all found not guilty. I mean, if you'd listened to the case, they sounded as guilty as hell. But the law is the law. The case was not proven, and they've all walked. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that sort of theme,
Yeah.
as it were, the state
State,
taking certain
I was
cases
going to mention
to court,
that, is
isn't
again,
it? And then they lose.
they lose.
What is going on?
And that's the big
That's
danger.
the big one, isn't it?
Because
even though we were given a statistic
78%.
that 78% of cases, we win them. But what are the quality of those cases?
That's right.
And were the winnable, easy cases,
Exactly.
as we
Kind of-
discussed, and the interesting ones
you
you're
get the
losing.
low-hanging fruit, and the
The
more
low-hanging
complex,
fruit,
the
yes.
more complex cases, the bigger ones like
Your
this,
word.
$2 million
Absolutely.
GPA case. 7 acquitted in GPA.
What paper is that?
That's on the Observer, top left.
Observer, 24.
And Nicholas had told me about it because he'd been observing it. And he thought they were going to be found guilty, actually, when we discussed the evidence that had been presented to the court. But obviously, not sufficient to convince the court of their guilt.
But this was really our point. This was really the point that I was trying to make to Balde. How do you determine complexity?
Yeah.
What is evidence?
Yeah, yeah,
These are all technical terms,
Yeah,
really.
correct.
We think that we know what evidence means, but that is not true. Not according to the law.
Yeah, quite.
How they would
Yeah,
disclose
so
this
we
evidence. Let's be
allow the
careful.
law to interpret
Absolutely.
what evidence is to them. You understand?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on the Observer 24, Mr. Momodu Mbuch, Mr. Ade,
Yeah.
you said?
Yeah, there's another one. So you have that one, 7 acquitted in GPA, $2 million fraud trial. Next to it, an interesting one which kind of drew my eye. Police intercept Senegalese man with $467,000 suspected counterfeit. $467,000. That's a lot of
Absolutely.
dollars
A lot
anyway
of
to be
money.
carrying,
Yes.
counterfeit or no. But I guess they'll have to sort of investigate it forensically to see whether it is in fact
Whether it
counterfeit.
is counterfeit
Yeah,
or
yeah,
not
yeah.
counterfeit.
Yeah, quite.
Interesting.
And
So,
then,
Well, the very fact that you're having to carry it, that
This is
in
it.
itself is suspicious.
as I said,
Most people will use banks. I mean, there's just too much money to be carrying
yeah, I
around.
know.
Let's be honest.
it's kind of money
Let's
that
be honest.
the Balde might carry around, but yeah. But I mean, and bottom right, my final one from the Observer, which I drew my eye, was court urged to free ex-Lands Minister Sanyang.
mhm.
Yeah,
Oh,
Abba Sanyang.
that's Abba
Abba Sanyang.
Sanyang.
Yeah.
Been
Former
going to
Minister
court.
of
Yeah.
Lands,
Lands,
yes.
Lands.
Dragging
Minister.
for how long
About,
now?
just over a year.
Just
Or
over a
maybe
year.
and something. Yeah. It says
Oh,
court
oh,
urged.
oh.
I suspect it's his lawyer.
It is
urging
his lawyer.
He was
The
alleged that he was involved in some financial
irregularities
money.
and also,
Irregularities.
also other sort of
Yes,
you know, corrupt allegations. And
Well-
again, a big case, you know, drew a lot of interest at the time the charges were first laid. But this is, I suspect, the lawyer saying, you know,
The other side has not proven its
proven
case.
his case.
So
and he's saying, you
we'll-
know, they've
we'll-
not
we'll
proven their
see.
case, so please.
So I
We'll
just
see
want to
what happens.
understand,
Accept
is Abba currently under custody?
No, not
No.
in custody,
Okay.
just charged.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
they're saying that, you know, free, set them free. And I was going to say final, but there is one, again, from Observer, which
Is it on top of
tends to
Abba?
take just above Abba Sanyang.
Above Abba's?
Yes, Barrow dares opposition to unite behind Dabo. So as we've said, the starting gun for election campaigning was fired on the 1st of January. No matter what the IEC says about election campaigning, it has started in earnest. And of course, this is the latest because we keep hearing about coalitions. We keep hearing
but
about people uniting.
imagine that. What a move
Yeah.
to unite behind
Dabo.
Dabo.
Right.
And we've read in the papers recently that Apex coalition,
Yeah.
they will decide, they will select the flag
The
bearer.
flag bearer.
They don't know yet.
Right.
But why push it towards Dabo?
Yeah,
What are you trying to create there? It's an
Yeah.
interesting statement in
Because
itself.
you know, you only say, it's like a football manager. I know Ibrahim Balde can't score even if the goal was as big as a barn door. And I'll say, you know, I'm Jose Mourinho. I said, I know who is, you know, because he did that once where he named the opposition's team in full that he suspected, and that was the team they fielded, just to kind of wind them up. I know Balde is not going to sort of be very effective against Mr. Harry Maguire and Lenny Yoro. I'll say, I know Mboj is picking the team and he's going to pick Balde as his center forward, you know, because I know I can beat them with
Sometimes
that.
you have to be very
That's
careful.
why he's saying that.
Small,
Well, they say be
small
careful what
teams-
you wish for.
That's it.
Small teams
careful
can
what
beat
you
big
wish
teams.
for.
But that's the idea.
Yeah,
Be careful what you wish for.
yeah, you
It's a
know,
very interesting
because
thing.
they might mobilize, they might galvanize, you know, swallow their pride and say, yeah, okay, we'll go behind him, and we're telling everybody who would have voted for us, vote for him instead.
But
So
are
be
they-
careful what you wish for,
Have you
Mr.
realized
President.
we're just talking about personalities, not ideas?
But it's here.
Given, isn't it? That's it. But with us as well, maybe as journalists, I mean, put pressure on them. You're just talking about people. given our situation, how things are, geopolitically what's going on, there's so much going on. What are the programs?
Nobody competes on ideas.
We're
it's
not
about
competing
personalities.
on ideas.
It's about Esafal. It's about Talib Bensouda.
Or it's about
Dabo.
the president or Dabo.
But do you think we can extricate that from the public? Like we can remove that?
No, it's very difficult. It's very difficult if you don't have, for example, if you say to them, what do you know about the manifesto? Okay, so I'll give you an example, not in Gambia, but in Sierra Leone. Before the 2007 elections, I think it was, Solomon Berewa, who was then the vice president, was standing. And we'd arranged this conference in London where people were gathered, both opposition and sort of government supporters. And he was meant to join us via a video. At the last minute, he said, I'm not going to do it. And they put me on the phone because I was one of the organizers. I said, Mr. VP, why are you not going to do it? He said, well, the diaspora doesn't vote. And I was so angry. I said, you obviously haven't even read your own manifesto. I said, because that's one of the things you're campaigning for. You're actually campaigning for the diaspora to get the vote. And you're turning down this conference because you say the diaspora.
He didn't go
he hadn't even read his own manifesto.
His manifesto, yeah.
It's on page
But you
2.
embarrassed him, Mr.
I wanted to. Because it was a disgrace. These politicians, they say things. We would get jobs for the youth. We would empower women.
You'll build roads.
How? How?
The only president that said to us, we will build your roads, and they built it, is Adama Barrow. And that we are going to accept. You can hate the dog, but the dog's teeth are white. Thank you very much. And congrats to Arsenal, champions of the Premier League.
22 years of knocking on the door. The door has finally been opened to them.
22 years.
And they're in the final of the Champions League. So they might do the unthinkable. They've never won the Champions
Nobody
League.
knows.
They've never won the Champions League, so they may very well. And they're in very good form, sneaking all these 1-0 victories. But, a victory is a victory. You don't care how you do it. And they've done it. And to be honest, congratulations to them. And as a Man United supporter, of course, the fact that they thwarted Man City,
you are happy.
Double congratulations to Arsenal.
Yes.
Big up.
The momentum of this high, PSG, watch out.
Yeah, quite.
Just
They're going to be on a high. Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you people are talking about.
We know.
It's all right.
Yeah, so until then, we'll take a short break. After the break, then we'll be talking to Imam Usman Jah, and we'll be talking about the spiritual meaning of Tobaski. It's QTV this morning. My name is Ibrahim Abalde. If you're just tuning in, we are the custodians of this morning. Mr. Wodumboj is in our possession.
I'm not sure about that. I know that we are the host.
You are changing the format. I was trying to put it in a way so that the other side can understand.
What other side? Oh, come on. Because the director, he's one of the custodians, but nobody can see him.
No, more than pluralize.
The producer.
I pluralize it. I said we are the custodians. I pluralize it. You have to understand what singular and plural mean.
But you said we are the custodians.
We are. It's not only me. I didn't say I.
Say Mr.
We are
Mbojan
some
I.
of. We are some of.
Say Mr. Mbojan I are
No,
the
but
custodians.
when I say we, it means
I know.
everybody's involved.
I know, but I want it to be more.
You don't know.
Specific, isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. I rest my case.
No, there's no case to rest.
Yeah, Mr. Woj, bye man, free. So we are back. Thank you. Dilen dalal, dilen ne ñu ngi leen adalalaat si beneen Islamic perspective. Lu ñoo waxtaanee mooy spiritual meaning of Tobaski. Xam ngeen ne si benn semaine rek dañoo Tobaski su soobee yàlla.
Inshallah.
Tobaski nag lu am solo la waaye dafa am fum cosaanoo dafa am history behind Tobaski. Tey nag am nañ Imam Usman Jah, Islamic scholar and Imam of Taqwa Mosque, pour mu mun ñoo waxal lan mooy Tobaski, the spiritual meaning of Tobaski. Imam ñu ngi laa dalal si programme bi.
Bismillahi ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wa sallallahu wa sallama ala sayyidina wa nabiyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallama tasliman kathira. Mr. Weltare ñu ngi am mbégte ci ganale gi ñuy ganale yaag Mr Mbodj yéen ñi nga xam ne tey yéenay the two custodians of.
Thank you, Imam. Thank you for using my words. Thank you.
Thank you di nuyu mbokk yi ñuy seetaan ci biir ak ci biti di ñaan suñ borom subhanahu wa taala lépp luñ fi wax rek yàlla na dëppoog li ko neex.
jërëjëf Imam si benn semaine rek nañ dugal si Tobaski.
bi iznillahi taala
incha allah bëggoon nañ ñu wax ñu Tobaski naka la ñëwee and what is the spiritual benefits of Tobaski ak meaning.
jërëjëf weltaare laaj bi am na solo ñëw na itam ci waxtoom te nit ñi duñ koy bàyyi xel toujours su yii jotee dañuy wax rek àttey Tobaski kan moo war a Tobaski naka la ñuy def xar yi waaye delloo nit ñi ci gannaaw historical background of Tobaski dafay am solo lool ndax moo lay link ak programme bi nga sa topic yi tey bi te mooy di spiritual meaning of Tobaski. Tobaski su ma eboone dañ ko doon xam nga l'islam mu ngi tàmbalee ci bi yàlla yónnee maam Adama loolu mooy l'islam diine yëpp l'islam la even Christianity l'islam la diine Moussa ñëpp l'islam la waaye yonent bu ñëw bu ne dafa am sharia sharia yi ñoo uute waaye benn diine bi la waaye diine Muhammad nag moom moo tuddoo l'islam waaye diine yi jiitu bu nekk dafa am tur waaye sharia mooy tëralin bi rules yi ak regulations yi loi yi del def lii bàyyi lii loolu ni jamono di soppeekoo noonu la dee soppeekoo waaye di basic rules yi foundation bi diine yëpp ñoo ko bokk waaw so waaye ñun kiñ gën a jegeñ kiñ gën a niroole mooy nabiyullahi Ibrahima alayhi salaam moo tax soo ñëwee ci alquranul karim yàlla dafa wax yonent bi sallallahu taala wa sallam ne ko na toppa footstep bi maamam Ibrahim waaw loolu la ko sant maamam jooju nag di maam Ibrahim ci moom lañ doonee Tobaski moom la yàlla doon tes ngëmam ndax ngëm dañ koy tes soo déggee ñuy wax nattu dafa tes ngëm for exemple jullit bi wala nit ki léegoo léeg rek am ay mbir yu dal ci kawam yu metti ndax bu dalee ci sa kaw da nga war a caalit da nga ko war a tuumaal keneen accuse keneen wala déedéet da nga ko war a delloo ci ki la ko teg nga jébbalu accept ko ba pare gërëm ko ci which is which loolu la yàlla di tes léegoo-léeg yàlla tes nit ci feebar léegoo-léeg yàlla tes nit ci ñàkk léegoo-léeg yàlla tes nit ci deele nga am ku dee yooyu yëpp tes la because yooyu yëpp kenn mënu koo def yàlla rek moo ko dee def su ko yàlla defee ni nga war a def mooy nga xam ne yàlla duy juum te ku dul juum loo def noonu la te lum defit moo gën su ko defee nga accept ko maam Ibrahima moomu tes bi ko yàlla tesut ko benn yonent waaw ni yàlla tesee ngëmam tesewu ko benn yonent moo tax soo ñëwee ci alquran sax yàlla daf ko nettali ne wa izibtala Ibrahima rabbuhu bi kalimatin fa atammahunna qaala inni jaa'iluka linnaasi imama ne yàlla tes na maam Ibrahima tes yu diis yu metti mu paas ci la ko yàlla ne ko nag kon yow appoint naa la def naa la nga nekk imaami nit ñi
xalifa
yaay imaam sax la use di woon imaam inni jaa'iluka linnaasi imama ba pare Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mi nga xam ne moo gën ci yonent yi sax terewut yàlla daf ko ne ko toppal sa tànki maam joojo ci biir tes yim tes maam Ibrahima te muy tes bu metti mooy bi nga xamee ne tabaxaat na Kaaba gi moom ak doomam maam Ismaïl ñoom ñoo tabaxaat kaaba gi yàlla daf ko nattu dafa tëdd rek gént yàlla ne ko rendil sa doom ji Ismaïl xam nga ne loolu du lu yomba te Mr Mbodj doom bii nii balaa ko maam Ibrahima am dafa dem ba màgget Ibrahima dafa dund ba foog ne duutul amati doom màgget na yàlla yónnee ci moom ndaw ne ko danaa la may doom te doom joo xam ne it borom nombay tànk lay doon mu may ko doom bii di maam Ismaïl xam nga ne ku dem ba màgget door a am doom ni ngay buggee sa doom bi te moom ñaari doom yooyu la am ni ngay buggee sa doom boobu noonu nga xam ne mooy sa bakkat bi yàlla xëy ne la rendi ko
loolu de bu dee
xam nga man ku ma ko tesoon ma fiil
man de man
yow it ku la ko tesoon ma fiil
dama fiil
good lii de la yàlla def may bare te gént la ko ñëwee yow su doon yow doo ko amal fayda da nga lii gént la
rek
waaye xam nga gént yi bokkuñ
te damaa ne sax lii du gént bu baax
waaw da ngay ne seytaane moo la koo def loo nit ñi sax soo ko ñu lu waa lii seytaane moo la ko d'accord because yow ki nga doon la waaye ci maam Ibrahima kenn du ko wax loolu ngir maam Ibrahima fekk na xam na ne yàlla purify na ko ba pare xam na ne am na cër ca yàlla ruux parce que gént ruux moo ko dee def nit su nelawee deegu ndaw la sa ruux gi dafa dox ruux googu dafa am yu moo gis dafa am yu moo indi yonent bi ne génti wala boog ci lislaam ñu ne génti nit ku baax bi paat la ci prophethood maanaam daf di nekk dëgg dafay jógee ci yàlla moo tax moom bi mu gént gi rek message la ko gisee direct message bu jógee ci yàlla rendil sa doom ji good yes mu xëy oo doomam
Mbodj am nga laajte
Mbodj li du lu yomb de
waaw bi yombut secrètement li nga njëkk a wax yàlla am na lu moo test man to me xam nga nit su ma test dara fekk I'm not sure of the results
waaw fekk xamuloo good
xaw ma results waaye koo xam ne xam na results yi yëpp
I like that
lu tax muy
I like that good yàlla balaa moo def dara xam na li muy def balaa moo test maam Ibrahima xam na what would be his reaction lan lay tontu yëpp xam na ko waaye yàlla lépp lu mu def pour lesson la xam nga yàlla xam na waaye yoo xamoo te yàlla pour mu jàngal ñu ci ñeneen la ñuy jàngalee waaw loolu mooy test bi soo yàlla wax lii maam Ibrahima xëy oo doomam ji Ismaïl ne ko Ismaïl mu ne ko man kat dama gént ne naa dama la war a rendi su doxoon tey doomi tey lan la ñuy wax papa daf ma bañ rawatina moom am na doomi baay Ismaïl am na doomi baay Ishaq because ñaari jabar la amoon jaam la amoon ak jabar kenn ku ci na am doom léegi su fekkee gént gi dafa dal ci kenn ki soo moytu wujj moom dafay gis lu tax dalut ci doomi wujjam bi dafay gis lu tax dalut ci suma broda kon dafay mel ni loolu beneen tesangoog bu rëy waaye dafa am pour dagg buum yooyu yëpp.
ba pare jabar bi sax dafa ne lu tax nga war a rey man.
waaw suma doom bàyyi kële dégg nga doom ji déglu lan la doom ji tontu doom ji lim ko tontu mooy defal li la sa borom sant. man di ma fekk muñkat di nga ma fekk.
kooku nangu na ndigal de.
lépp lu la sa borom wax rek def ko man gërëm naa ko te di nga ma fekk ma dogu pour def ko. xoolal doom jooju ban lesin lañ faa jàng tey su fekkoon ne jamono tey la doom boobu du wax loolu yaay ji du nangu abadan bi mu waxee loolu scénario la tàmbali mbir mi moo tàmbali nii rek fi ne nag dañoo ñëw war a pour practice mu uti paakaam bu ñëw ne dañ koy rendi kaay mu ñëw tëddal mu tëdd amul sax ay nit ñëw di bës fi léegi di jàpp fii déedéet donte nga xam ne doom ji moom nee na ko dama lay ñaan nag soo may rey nga ut paaka bu ñaw nga xam ne benn yoon rek mu dog mu ne ko du dama ragal de waaye damay ragal suma xoli yaay bi ñëweti googu laay bañ mu yëngal ko te fexeel ba deret ji bum la laal fen ndax loolu itam du baax ci suma yaay fexeel daal na paaka bi ñaw nga xam ne sooy def nii rek ma gaaw a dee moom laa bëgg mu tëdd mu jël paakaam teg ci put mi xoolal paaka bu ñaw lool nga tëral nit koo xam ne kële sa mu nga tiit
mooy suma yaram bi
c'est kële sa
yaram
mu
comme
daw
luy jam
waaw nga tëral nit koo xam ne moom gis nga gëm yàlla is another thing nit kiy dund yàlla is another thing xam nga Mr Mbodj loolu ku fa toll il faut nga caalit il faut nga coow il faut nga yëngatu il faut nga fat-fati
waaw
yow nga tëdd ne nem mel ni dara amut ngir yàlla mi fees ci sa xol bi because yàlla ni mu feesee ci xoli Ibrahima noonu la feesee ci xoli Ismaïl doomam ji because moom yónent la kii yónent la xam nga yàlla xéwal gi mu defalu maam Ibrahima dafa rëy defalu ko kenn ñaari doomam yëpp yónent lañ moom yónent ñaari doomam yëpp yónent lañ
te Ibrahima xariti yàlla
Ismaïl ak Ishaq dégg nga nga jël paaka bi teg loolu xam nga ne Mr Mbodj matul seconde pour baat bi dog matu ko
waaw
waaye ci diggante boobu yàlla bi mu xamee ne loolu waxin la yàlla bi mu xamee ne waxin la waaye yàlla xamam jiitu na waaye bi mu gisee ne
Ibrahim lu mu ko santa
lim sant Ibrahima dogu na ci te dëgg dana ko def
te loolu dëgg la daf ko def
waaw yàlla utal ko substitution ci saa yàlla bëq ndaw te muy Jibril ne ko demal àjjana nga indil ma fa benn xar bu baat bi dog de nga wattee ko lool Ibrahima rendi na waaye bi mu rendee xar la gis
rendi woon na
rendi na di Ibrahima rendi na waaye xar la gis
allahu akbar
def na mboolem li ko yàlla sant yëpp def na ko moom fi ñu toll nii ba pare te doomam deexut rey nañ xar nii lii moo fi indi tabaski mu def ko nag ñu def ko ci fan yi nga xam ne mooy fani aj màkka mooy fukkeeli fan ci aj màkka boo jógee arafa te xam nga fani aj màkka mooy fan yi nekk nii fi ñu toll nii mooy at bi yëpp mooy fan yi gën ci fan yi
mooy fan yu nekk
fan yi nekk nii li ko dalee ci on the first ba keroog ñuy julli mooy fan yi gën ci fan yi at bi yëpp ci loolu gannaaw boo xamee ne dem na arafa ba pare ci la mbir mii nii xew léegi nag mu nekk sunna ndax yonent bi sallallahu alayhi wasallam lu bari ci lii xew ci diine lislaam sunnaay ñi ko jiitu mooy aadaay ñi ko jiitu woon la seen practice moom la toxal indil ñu ko waaw ndax ñoom ay brothers am lañ yonent yëpp ay brothers lañ dañoo bëggante dañoo ormalante kenn du yab kenn du xeeb kenn even soo ñëwee ci lislaam taaru lislaam foofu nga koy gis doo ko gis ci beneen diine nag lislaam dafa la wax ci alquranul karim ne yonent yëpp ñoo em maanaam ñoo em dayo ñoom ñëpp ay yonent lañ ci yàlla lañ jógee te yow jullit ñoom ñëpp nga war a fonk ñoom ñëpp nga war a bugga l'islam tey soo nekkoon jullit nga ne man accepte ma Jesus Christ wala accepte ma Moussa wala nangam l'islam ne la man it accepte ma la da ngaa génn doo bokka
kon
ñëpp ngay accepte laa nu farriqu alquran la it's a text laa nu farriqu bayna ahadin minhum
dama ko dee dégg
waaw doo teqale kenn yes su ñëwee ci values ci wéet am nañ natteekaay am nañ 5 yonent yoo xam ne ñoom ñoo gën ci yonent yi kooku mooy Nuux Ibrahim Moussa Jesus Christ Muhammad sallallahu taala wa sallam ñooy the best of all the best of all mooy juróom the best of juróom mooy Muhammad sallallahu taala alayhi wa sallam
Nuux si la bokk
waaw moom mooy kile mooy Muhammad ki gën ci ñëpp soo noonu la l'islam tëralee ay mbiram léegi nag Muhammad sallam bi mu ñëwee soo ñëwee ci alquranul karim maanaam suñuy wax tubaski wala boog suñ ne nangam diine daf ko santaane dañ lay wax foo ko jëlee foo ko teg benn nga ne yàllaa ko wax vaas baa ngi nii wala yonent moo ko wax wala yonent moo ko def wala yonent moo gis ku koy def mu silent ci bii soo ñëwee ci alquran dañuy wax ne ci suratu kawthar fi yàlla y wax ne inna a'taynaaka al kawthar fa salli li rabbika wanhar li ëpp ci borom xam-xam yi ñu ne loolu mooy dalil bu tubaski rey tubaski ak julli iit because foofu lim fa wax mooy fa salli li rabbika jullil ñeexal sa borom wanhar ta nga locc mooy ta nga rendi ñu ne loolu mooy dalilu iit te mooy julli gi ak rey gi waaye loolu yëpp even bu alquran waxut yonent bi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam moo ñu daan translatal moo ñu daan interprétal ndigali yàlla yi léegoo-léegi yàlla digle dara silent ci naka lañ koy defee par exemple soo ñëwee ci julli yàlla digle na ne julli leen waaye naka la ñuy jullee yàlla waxu ko fen ci alquran ba mu jeex
waaw
waaye bi yàlla ne julli leen order bi ci kan la ñëw ndigal bi ci kan la ñëw ci Muhammad ci boppam sallallahu alayhi wa sallam Muhammad boobu bi muy jóg di julli nam doon jullee moo ñu jàngal naka la ñuy jullee waaye Muhammad boobu tam sallallahu taala sallam moom itam dafa am ku ko jàngal wax nañu ne Jibril alayhi salaam moo ñëw won ko ni ñuy jullee moo nekk ci kanamam yow doo ko gis waaye moom mu ngi koy gis mooy def muy def ba mu jeex ñu xam ne lii mooy julli allahu aalam waaye bu mu ci manti doon daal Muhammad moom mbir mu ne nam ko defee noona la moo tax bi mu jullee ba pare lim ñu wax mooy sallu kama raaytumuni usalli de leen julli ni ngeen ma gisee may jullee de leen ko jullee ba mu ajee màkk ba pare it li mu wax mooy xudu anni manasikakum ni ñuy ajee jëlee leen ko ci ni ma ajee because yàlla ndiktal bi rek la ci def waaye deful détail yi léegi kon Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wér na ne moom julli na iit mu def ko ñaari rakka boo xam ne nangami kàbbar la def mu ngi ko defee ci biti foo xam ne du jàkka suñ amee chance bi su fekkee ne lu mën a nekk la dañ koy def ci biti du dee nekk ci biir jàkka su fekkee ne nag mënta nekk ñu def ko ci biir jàkka ñu wax la détail si yëpp lu nekk naka lañ koy defee ba pare Muhammad ci boppam itam rey na xari tubaski waaye moom ñaar la reyoon
ñaari xar
dafa rey benn mu ne bii man ak suma njaboot bii maa ngi ko def on behalf of all jullit ñoo xam ne amuñ tubaski amuñ lu jëndee tubaski ba àddina tukki
kon man su ma reyut
képp ku amut loo jëndee tubaski yonent bi defal na la tubaski ba àddina tukki loolu may ak yàlla la yàlla mooy may ku ko neex lu ko neex loolu lañ yàlla defal kon su boobaa bés yi ay lesson lañ fa mën a jàng spiritual yi lesson bu njëkk mooy gëm yàlla ak topp yàlla ci fan lañ ko jëlee ci maam Ibrahima ak doomam ji gëm biñ gëm ne yàlla ku am la dafa jafe de xam nga soo xoolee gëm dafa yéeme ndax doomu aadama pour mu xam dara ci juróomi channel lay xamee dara amul juróom benneel benn muy lum xeeñtu nga xam lu muy xeeñ wala lum déglu wala lum xool wala lum mos wala lum laal amut kenn kuy xam len lu dul benn ci juróomi channel yi
sens yooyu ñoo la
sens yi rek nga koy mën a xamee waaye soo ñëwee ci gëm juróom yi yëpp benn du la ko ci jàngal
gëm is sort of a feeling
dégg nga de
man noonu laa
gëm juróom yi ñuy xamee benn du la ci xamal li nga gëm yàlla mu ngi nii yàlla dañ ko gëm mosoo koo gis mosoo koo mos mosoo koo xeñtu mosoo koo laal mosoo te fi ne ni yaa ngi ko gëm kon fan la loolu ne
loolu nag
ban sent fan la ne loolu mooy xol
xol bi waaw
loolu mooy xol waaye xol it dafa am dafa am lightam mooy xel xol dafa am light boo xam ne moo koy niital pour lim mën a dugal moom itam ci
soo si la Quran bi dee wax
lim mën a jël
lii mu ngi waxtaan ak ñi xam ne
waaw borom xel
yi
waaw for exemple tey soo ñëwee ci ñi jàng suñ lay wax gëm dañoo war a gëm dañ la wax because yàlla nee na yonent nee na nangam naa waaye what about ki nga xam ne xamut alquran gëmut alquran dafa am koo xam ne xamul lu ñuy tuddee alquran
waaw dëgg la
am na koo xam ne xamul ku ñuy tuddee Muhammad léegi nga bugg nag mu gëm yàlla soo kooku ndax dafay am fayda nga ñëw naan ko yàlla nee na
dafa jafe
so yàlla nee na kay dafa fekk man ma xam yàlla ma gëm yàlla
waaw
aha léegi bon nit kooku naka ngay mun a waxee moom ba mën a accept ne yàlla ku am la te yàlla moo fi ne ci xel sa leeru xel googu moom nga koy jox first of all nit ki wax ne man gëw ma ne yàlla am na laaj ko ne ko ndax gëm na ne lu am lu ne rek am na ku ko amal ndax amul dara lu amal boppam
dooree ko sa boppa yow
doomi
aadama bi
li xel nangu
waaw
mooy amul dara lu amal boppam soo xoolee ñun ci suñ dundin amul dara lu amal boppam even soo demoon ba ci digg ca jongul ba foo xam ne da nga foo ne kii nit mosu fee ñëw
waaw
nga ñëw fekk fa ab tabax da ngay gëm ne dañ ko fa def
de
am na ku ko fa def kan nga gëm ne moo ko fa def nit ngay gëm because nit mun naa tabax waaye soo fa fekkoon loo xam ne nit munu ko ci ngay xam ne am na keneen ku ko def donte xamuloo kooka
dëgg la
good léegi suñ borom subhanahu wa taala li tax nit forcé mu gëm ne am na mu ngi fi mooy liñ fi fekk rek xoolal balaa ngaa dem sax ci suuf seeg ci asamaan seeg ci ngelaw leeg ci garab yi waaye emal ci sa bopp rek ni ko alquran waxee wa fi anfusikum afala tubsirun emal ci sa bopp jëlal fi ne yow jëlal sa xel mi rek nga xalaatal ci sa xel mi ndax xel am na fuñ ko mën a takk am na lu toll ni xel amut te man ngaa dajeeg Mr Mbodj mi yéen a ngi gëjee gisee fanweeri at 30 years nga xool ko rek gis nga film bi
nga xalaat lu romba
30 years film bi dana ko daw ci lu less than 1 second
bu mu soloon sax nga xam ko
yes nga xam ne kii mooy Mr Mbodj place sangam ngeen dajee nangam la waxoon nangam
loolu ñëwee wut noonu rek de am na ku ko defar am na ku defar loolu de
yi si xam nga ne loolu am na ku nekk am na ku nekk ci gannaaw loolu am na kuy contrôle loolu
waaw imaam
man tumi wax nga lu garaaw dafa mel ni kii gëm mooy reason
waaw
ni ma ko jëlee ni ko waxee gëm mooy reason mooy xel gi ak all that waaye sakatuma rey bi man bëgg naa ñu dugg foofu foofu la spirituality bi nekk isn't it
foofu la nekk
essentially Ibrahim rey na doomam isn't it
waaw
mam reyee ba pare la gis ne xar la
waaw
loolu lu maa wax yi fi gëm tiggi what's the essence of gëm
gëm rawatina su fekkee ci yàlla la mooy nekkatuloo gëm boobu mooy ki nga xam ne dafa fuse da nga fuse ci biir li nga gëm ba yow nekkatuloo mënatuloo gis mënatuloo xam nekkatuloo
maanaam
kooku ci level boobu fa la tollu woon maanaam kooku su waxee gisatoo dara déggatoo dara amatuloo yow free will
waaw doo ne
déedéet amatuloo bugga amatuloo coobare
su waxee rek tàggoo nga ak sa sago
waaw tàggoo nga ak sa sago sa coobare yëpp dafaa toppa coobare ki nga xam ne moom nga gëm te mooy suñ borom subhanahu wa taala moo tax nga gis jihadis foofu nga koy xamee jihadis kenn mënut a xeex ak moom yes
because time bi jeex na
ok ki nga xam ne yàlla la gëm te dafa gëm ne moom àjjana ak safara am na daf ko gëm te buy dee rek fi ne mu ngi jëm àjjana kooku moom yoonam nekku ci mu dee léegi yow mi nga xam ne àddina sa itte la yow bugguloo xa dee kooku kenn mënta xeex ak moom waaw defe naa ne comme ni nga ko waxee time bi jeex na
profound that's very profound
profound na de bii kay dafa profound Mr. Mbodj thank you very much Imam for coming xam naa ne bii mooy nekk suñ last programme pour this week
before nangam
xam naa before Tobaski Wednesday la xanaa suñ jógee
bu Tobaski ñu ñëw
non takwa dañ ko defee islamic perspective bi takwa
ñu defee ko takwa
su soobee yàlla kon jërë ngeen jëf thank you Mr. Mamadou Mbodj thank you Imam Jah for coming viewers this is all we have mbaa yéen am ngeen QCell line dem leen jëli seen QCell line yi ñu ngi si suñ building bu ees bi free of charge la sa ID passport voters card or driver's license jërë ngeen jëf